Welcome. Over the years, many fascinating sci-fi movies have quietly appeared and disappeared without most people ever noticing them. Some explore dangerous experiments, others imagine disturbing futures or technologies that could completely change humanity. In this ranking, we're looking at 10 hidden science fiction films that flew under the radar but absolutely deserve more attention. If you enjoy discovering unusual sci-fi stories with bold ideas and unforgettable atmosphere, this list might surprise you. Let's begin. Extracted. In the psychological sci-fi thriller, Extracted, a brilliant scientist named Tom invents a device capable of entering and exploring another person's memories. Hoping to prove that the technology works, he decides to test it on a dangerous criminal who may hold vital information inside his mind. But during the experiment, something goes terribly wrong. Tom becomes trapped inside the prisoner's memories, unable to return to the real world. What follows is a disturbing journey through fragmented thoughts, traumatic experiences, and distorted realities. As Tom searches desperately for a way out, he begins to lose his grip on what is real and what is only part of the prisoner's mind. Extracted turns a simple concept into a tense and claustrophobic psychological science fiction story about memory, guilt, and the dangers of exploring the human mind. The Machine. Set in a dark dystopian future during a technological Cold War, The Machine explores the dangerous race to create the ultimate artificial intelligence. Governments are secretly funding experiments to develop intelligent android soldiers capable of winning future wars. Vincent, a brilliant scientist working on the project, has a more personal motivation. His daughter suffers from a serious illness, and he believes advanced AI technology might help save her life. But when his newest creation begins to develop true consciousness and emotions, the experiment quickly spirals out of control. The android is no longer just a weapon. It begins questioning its existence and humanity itself. As military forces attempt to control the situation, Vincent must decide whether his creation is a miracle or the beginning of something far more dangerous. Fast Color. Fast Color takes place in a future where Earth is suffering from a devastating drought and water has become extremely scarce. Society is slowly collapsing as people struggle to survive in a dying world. In the middle of this harsh reality is Ruth, a woman with mysterious and uncontrollable supernatural abilities. Her powers make her a target for a secret organization that wants to capture and study her. Forced to stay on the run for years, Ruth eventually returns to the small town where her mother and daughter still live. But her return triggers events that reveal a hidden family secret about the true nature of their powers. Unlike typical superhero movies, Fast Color focuses on emotional struggles, survival, and generational trauma, creating a unique science fiction story about power, identity, and hope in a collapsing world. Rememory. Rememory explores a fascinating concept. What if memories could be recorded and replayed like videos? When brilliant inventor Gordon Dunn creates a device capable of extracting and playing back human memories, his invention promises to change the world forever. But shortly after unveiling the technology, Dunn is mysteriously murdered. A quiet and troubled man named Sam begins investigating the death using the memory machine itself. By exploring the memories of people connected to the inventor, Sam uncovers hidden secrets, lies, and painful truths buried deep inside their minds. The deeper he goes into these memories, the more disturbing the revelations become. Rememory blends mystery, psychology, and science fiction to explore how memories shape our identity and how dangerous it can be to uncover truths that were meant to stay forgotten. Come True. Come True is a haunting and atmospheric science fiction horror film centered around a teenager named Sarah who struggles with terrifying nightmares every night. Desperate to escape her troubled life and constant fear of sleep, she volunteers for a mysterious university sleep study that promises money and a safe place to stay. At first, the experiment seems harmless, as researchers monitor participants' dreams using advanced technology. But Sarah soon realizes something is terribly wrong. The dreams recorded during the study begin to reveal disturbing shadowy figures that seem to exist beyond the dream world. As the line between sleep and reality begins to blur, Sarah starts questioning whether the experiment is simply observing nightmares or accidentally opening a doorway to something far more sinister. Black Box. After surviving a tragic car accident, Nolan wakes up with severe amnesia and fragmented memories of his previous life. Struggling to reconnect with his young daughter and rebuild his identity, he agrees to undergo an experimental neurological therapy designed to recover lost memories. Using a strange device that allows him to dive deep into his subconscious mind, Nolan begins reliving pieces of his past. But the deeper he explores his own memories, the more unsettling the visions become. Strange figures appear in his mind, and certain memories feel manipulated or incomplete. As the therapy continues, Nolan begins to suspect that the technology is not only restoring memories, it might also be changing them. Black Box becomes a disturbing journey into identity, perception, and the terrifying possibility that our memories may not truly belong to us. The Blackout. The Blackout begins with a global catastrophe that wipes out almost all life on Earth. Cities suddenly fall silent as communication systems collapse and entire populations disappear without explanation. Only a small area somewhere in Eastern Europe appears to remain untouched by the mysterious event. Survivors gather at a remote military base in Siberia, trying to understand what happened to the rest of humanity. As they investigate the phenomenon, they encounter strange signals, terrifying creatures, and evidence suggesting that the disaster may not be natural at all. The deeper they search for answers, the more they realize that humanity might be facing an enemy far beyond its understanding. The Blackout combines large-scale science fiction action with mystery and paranoia, creating a tense story about survival in a world that has suddenly stopped making sense. The Witch. Part 1. The Subversion. At first glance, Jayoon appears to be an ordinary teenage girl living a quiet life with her adoptive family on a rural farm. But when she enters a televised talent competition to help her struggling parents financially, something unexpected happens. During the show, she accidentally reveals extraordinary abilities that immediately attract the attention of dangerous people. Soon, mysterious agents begin hunting her, claiming she was once part of a secret government experiment designed to create superhuman assassins. As fragments of her forgotten past return, Jayoon realizes that her powers are far greater and more terrifying than anyone imagined. The Witch starts as a quiet mystery, but gradually transforms into a brutal and explosive sci-fi thriller that mixes psychological tension with intense action. The Beast. The Beast presents a chilling vision of the future where human emotions are considered dangerous and must be removed to maintain social stability. In this strange world, people undergo a process called emotional purification, a technology designed to erase painful memories and eliminate fear, sadness, and trauma. Sarah is preparing to undergo the procedure herself, hoping to free her mind from a deeply traumatic past. But as she experiences simulations of her previous lives and forgotten memories, she begins to question whether erasing emotions is truly the path to freedom. The more she learns about the system controlling society, the more disturbing the truth becomes. The Beast blends philosophical science fiction with psychological drama, exploring whether humanity can truly exist without the emotions that define us. Transfer. Transfer explores one of the most controversial ideas in science fiction, the possibility of transferring human consciousness into another body. In the near future, a wealthy elderly German couple decides to undergo a radical procedure that allows them to move their minds into the young bodies of African refugees. On the surface, the process promises a new life, youth, and unlimited possibilities. But the reality quickly reveals disturbing moral consequences. As the couple adjusts to their new bodies, they begin confronting questions about identity, exploitation, and the value of human life. Meanwhile, the original owners of those bodies struggle with the horrifying consequences of the experiment. Transfer turns a simple science fiction premise into a powerful and unsettling story about inequality, power, and the dark ethical boundaries of advanced technology. And that wraps up our journey through 10 hidden sci-fi movies you probably missed. Hopefully you discovered something new to add to your watch list. Which of these films surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments and share your favorite hidden sci-fi movies. See you in the next ranking.